Now in this lecture we are going to activate this button of add new category. So back to my editor, you can see this button has the name of submit. So we need to grab this submit button. So before doing anything, I'm gonna add one PHP scope right here, and inside this PHP scope I'm gonna say that if this button of submit is set, so by using if condition, if this button is using this function of set, by using super global of post, I'm gonna pass the name of that button, and that is set to be submit. So I'm gonna say if this button of submit is set, then you should do this amount of code. So first of all, I'm gonna grab the other field as well, that is right here, this field of category. So you can see this field has the name of category. So grabbing this one from here, and we need super global of post to get that name of category, so adding it right here. And it's also a good programming practice to add MySQL real escape string to avoid the SQL injection, so adding on this field of post of category. Now in the next part will be that we need date and time, so I'm gonna copy date and time from here. I'm gonna paste it right after our category, this date and time that we created in our last lecture. Now here I'm gonna add couple of validations. So first validation will be if this field of category is empty, by using empty function. So if this category is empty, then you should echo that all fields must be filled out. Now saving this one, and on the next line we are going to redirect ourselves to some other page so that we could know that this validation worked. So location to be this new one of dashboard.php in case user or we violate some validation, and exit at the end. Now saving this one out, if I refresh this page to load the PHP and try to click on this add new category, now you can see we are on the page of dashboard.php. It means that this validation worked perfectly, but there is a problem. We echo this all field must be filled out, and there is no text of all field must be filled out on this page. It's just because we cannot echo things from one page to another. We can use instead of that session. Sessions are browser to server way to pass the information while you open your browser window. So we are using session right here in a moment. So in the same folder of include.php, I'm gonna create one new file of sessions.php. So here I'm gonna create a new file of sessions.php. Let's open this file in our editor. So first of all, in this file we are going to add PHP scope, and then the second thing will be we need to start our session by using session start function. So we created this session of start function. Now on the next line I'm gonna create here one function of message, and inside this function we are going to formulate some session style and the session as well. So first of all, we are going to say that if our session is set by using is set function, so if the session super global is set and that has the name of error message, then you should do this amount of code. So first of all, adding one variable of output right here, and then in this variable I'm gonna add one div of class of alert. This is the bootstrap class to show the error and success message. So first of all, I'm going to show you the danger alert. As we are using quotation inside quotation, so we need to escape this one and also this one as well. Now closing of this first div tag right here, and then we are adding this quotation to end this string here and semicolon at the end. Now with this div, I'm gonna concatenate it with our session. So adding one variable of output again, same variable, and concatenate it with the function of HTML entities, as we are going to output this session message. And it is also a good practice to add this function of HTML entities when you have to show something so that your HTML doesn't break. Now on the next line, I'm gonna add the ending to this div that we created on here. So concatenate it with the ending of div. Then we are going to return it this output. Now this is all that we have to do for now. Now saving this one out, we need to call this session here in the validation, and we have to equal it with one string. So this string is going to be place here, that will be in the sandwich between the div starting and div ending, and that is going to use the alert danger to have the red color while outputting. Now saving this one out, opening the dashboard.php, as we are going to redirect our user to dashboard.php, so we have to add one PHP scope in the main area of this div, and we have to call this function that we just created of message right here. And also we are using one function of message that is inside the sessions.php file. So we need to include this session.php file in our dashboard.php file and in our categories.php file. So adding the sessions.php file first of all in this file of categories.php, and then adding it in our dashboard.php file as well, right above it. Now saving this one out, all these files, if I open my categories.php file now and click on this add new category, now you can see we are on the dashboard.php file, but there is no error message. It's just because we added and we call this function of message right here, but we didn't echo this function, so we need to echo this function out. So saving this one out now, and if I just refresh this page of dashboard.php, you can see we got all fields must be filled out error message. Let's grab this whole div from here and place it right after our h1 heading, and refreshing the page, you can see we got this message right here. It looks great. So in case if you want to add the background color to be green one to this one, so just change this alert danger class in your function of message to be SUCCESS success. Saving this one out, now it will have the green color. Now there is one problem which I'm going to show you in a moment, and that is if I close my browser from here, and now my session is completely ended, because session only work when the browser is open. Now if I try to get into my file of dashboard.php, you can see we are still getting this error message. It means that on the first time, even if we are not sending some information, but we are still getting this message. We can encounter this problem by just adding one simple line of code right here, and we just have to make it to null for the first time, so that when the user reach to our session for the first time, it will have the null value. Now if I open my browser again and open that file of dashboard.php directly, now you will see we won't have any error because we made it null for the first time. Same like this function of message, I'm gonna add one more function of success message that will have the session to be success message here, and success message here. And let's change this class from danger to be success as well, so that we could have the green color around our session of success message. Now in the same file of dashboard.php where we have added this function of message, we just also have to add the one new function that we just created, and its name is success message. So we can also utilize this new function later whenever we want. So adding it right here, let's add the echo statement. Now saving this one out, adding the same one in our file of manage_categories.php right in the main area, right after h1 heading. And one more thing to do here, you can see we are using the header information. So instead of doing that, I think it would be great if we create one function so that we can utilize that function every time whenever we need it. So in the same folder of include.php, I'm gonna create here new file with the name of functions.php. Opening this file, adding the PHP scope. Now cutting this header information from here and opening this function.php file. Now I'm gonna create one new function with the name of redirect _to, and inside this function we are going to accept one parameter of new _location, and then we are going to add the header information, and then in the location right after location we are going to add and concatenate it with this variable of new location. So adding it right here looks great. Now this file has the name of functions.php, so we need to include this file as well. So adding it right here, functions.php. Now also adding the same file in our dashboard.php. Saving this one and also saving this one out as well. Now I can simply call that function of redirect to, which I just created, and inside it I can simply pass the new location to be dashboard.php. So when the user is going to violate something, he will get this session message, all field must be filled out, and by using this function of redirect he will be redirected to dashboard.php. So this dashboard.php is going to be first here, then it going to be come here, and it will concatenate with this location and will redirect our user to the new location of this parameter that we are going to send. Saving all these files. So if I try to open my categories.php file, try to submit it, you can see we got this error, call to undefined function redirect _to. So we need to find out this error, why we are getting this error. It's just because of not entering the right name here. So adding the right name, redirect, looks good now, I think so. Saving this one out. If I refresh this page now, click on this add new category. Now you can see we are on dashboard.php and we got this session message. So it means that everything is working completely fine. So we made this function, we can use this function and we can use this session to show the error message whenever we want. And we can use this success message session to show the success message as well. Now I'm going to add one more validation here, and I'm gonna say that else if the category is greater than 99, you should show some error message. So by using one function of strlen string length, I'm gonna say for now that if the category is greater than 4, then you should say that too long name. And instead of redirecting our user to dashboard.php, redirect him to categories.php so that we will be on the same page, and also changing this one to be categories.php as well. Now saving this one, refreshing the page. In case if I add something like 4 5 6 1 2 3, add new category, can see too long name. I did that because if I can show you my XAMPP server, the admin panel, when we created our table of category, we made its name to be varchar of 100 length. So we need to take this thing in mind that we shouldn't add any name more than 100 characters. Other than 100 or greater than 100, there will be an error. So I'm gonna make it to, if the category name is greater than 99, then you should say too long name for category. And this function of strlen string length is helping us out while finding this length of this field of category post. Now we did our validation for this file. So in the next lecture we are going to add our query that is going to help us add the data into our database.